that was my first stop for the day, for a while anyway. Tell you what, as you get further out on the Northern Highway, the Great Northern Highway, it sure does get hot. I do recommend going to Kills next time, but here's a little something you can't deny. Interesting thing about this is I had to go inside there to get them to override the system just to be able to pay by cash. I tell you people, everyone, pay with cash. Anyway, I really got no idea where I am right now. A little town somewhere. Mostly just a little stopping point. Probably gonna get something to eat and continue on the way. Alright, and yeah. Okay, so just reached Newman, which is a very interesting place. They're showing us all the iron ore and a big ass mining truck thing. You know, I'm going to go up here. I think it's locked, but you know, I'm going to go up there anyway. And it looks very interesting. I've never actually seen one of these like really up close before, but you know, they're pretty freaking big. Let us pass this point here, but seems to be the only massifying mini right here. Notice that's the problems with people climbing over, so they've blocked it off. But look at the sheer size of these tires. You really wonder how much money they have to spend on just taking the minerals out of the ground. Quite impressive. Anyway, getting a nice view from up here anyway. Look, there's a cellular tower in the distance. They're everywhere now. Yes, they are. Looks like a bit of a community back there. Really interesting stuff, but looks like they're planning some development here in this area. Housing there at some point. That might be interesting to find how much to actually charge for it. Unfortunate. But yeah, this is Newman. Now throughout most of this trip, it's been flat. And I'm starting to see hills finally, which means that I'm actually making it north. And it's still kind of flat and all that, but you know, Australia's not flat. It does have mountains. When you go up Great Highway direction, you have actual mountains. However, it's very interesting. They've got a big kind of lizard statue here as well, but it's not very that interesting. But yeah, it's a good place to stop and all that. We're going to go up the road a bit more and see if I can find a nice place to set up a tent. Alright, hello. Well, I had to do a little product review on a BlackWolf tent, camouflaged. And I got it from, funny enough, Tent World. I got the car on this side, and I'm planning to put it right here in front of the car. Because there's not many other soft places where my car, where this is going to actually be able to nail into the ground. So, here I go. So you can have the front, work out where your front and your back is. Check you're not going to have any species problems. That's my door of the car, so I want to pull this back a bit. That's how people leave stuff behind. Probably useful with someone else. Right, so my car door is there, so I want to have it so it's got quick access. This is a free season tent. Half decent for this area. This looks like a 2-stick system. Already I found a fatal flaw with this tent, sadly, but it's not a bad one. The manufacturer left the fly screen open straight away. Bad move. Get it zipped up before the wicked flies destroy your tent. I'm following you all night. Pretty simple tent so far. Bit tight on its design, but you don't want a loose tent. When picks up, you want a tent that's good and strong and sturdy. pretty much it looks like you just filter these through here. Right. Hold yourself up. Now if you're hearing that sound in the background, it's because this is a truck stop. There's always going to be truck stop in here. It's the only way you get free camping. With a decent amount of safety. As you can see, the end is pretty sturdy. As you can see, this is the main cover on the outside. Funny enough, it's actually easier than out of it because it all clips. Flip it on. That just leaves a few minor things. Right, so there's our tent. There we go, one tent. I'll admit it, I'm not the best to put tents up, but that's a tent. This one here is a long way one. Doesn't matter what you're going to do, you're going to have noises off the streets here. And that's part one to any camp. Any camp. Your first thing is to set up your tent. And that's a tent. Now, I've got a little string things on the side. That's the same on every tent. Okay? But this here is a 3-season tent. You can get 4 seasons. Fairly wind resistant. Multiple directions. Pressure is put here on these 2 accesses. Therefore holding out against most stormy weathers and winds. Now I don't expect to have that out here in the middle of nowhere. However, you can expect to have wild animals decide to drop out, and it can happen. So that is it. Now it's very important you clear up all your gear, get yourself all organized. This is a camouflage tent. You can get a non-camouflage version of this. These go about $70 to $80 depending if the price has gone up. It's unfortunately inevitable that prices are going to go up. So that's part one of your camp. Part two. Cooking. And that's rather easy, believe it or not. I've been doing it the whole time we're going away. Of course, you know I've also caught some treats at the same time. It is important that you do not take stuff with you that needs a lot of refrigerating. Yeah, sure, if you want to bother with it, but honestly, nah. You also note that I put the sun going to the back of this tent. That way the sun comes up in the morning, it'll be right in my face to wake us up, so you get going. So the last thing you want to do in the morning is waste your time walking around doing nothing. Okay. Keep all your excess stuff back in the bag, and that includes your actual hammer. Put that in with it. Okay? First time using it, you're always not going to have your hammer in it. You want to have your hammer there. Alright, so your next bit you're going to need is cooking. It's good to have a table. It's also good to read the instructions on how to set the table up. First, both these legs come out at the same time, then go out. Now you're thinking, oh, it's all around good, you can afford a table and all that, and all this stuff. Well, I'm going to tip you off. This is K-Marks. This is K-Marks brand. Perfectly good K-Mark. Okay. K-Mark. Also, easy, so forth, so on. Right? You know what I also found at K-Mark? If I can get to it. It's right now. Oh. Where you coming? Bring more than one water. Bring one for drinking, bring one for cleaning. Okay? Because you will need it. A chair. Good thing to have, don't have to have it. I repeat, you don't have to have it. Sit on the ground. But if you're getting old, it's good to have a chair. Also, for paper. So, these here bottles. So this is what I go for work. You can also get these for super cheap. Super cheap. and BCF, and Anaconda and tent oil. Now you're probably thinking, this guy just put that on solid gravel and it's going to be sore on his back. That's where things like this come in handy. Not the most comfiest thing, but better than sitting on the hard ground. Just turn the little nozzle, wait a few minutes, give it a couple blow. Eventually it does go. Don't lose your straps to this. But my one unfortunately getting a bit old. Straight in there. Don't wait for flies. Straight in. Straps in there too. Now, depending where you are, depends if you need a sleeping bag or not. This is where I have to get very serious. When you're sleeping bag, you have to really think about the conditions you're going into. Is it rainy? Is it stormy? It's going to be very cold. Are you in the outback? Are you next to the beach? Are you going south? Are you going north? Are you going inland? Well, right now I'd say I'm going north, inland, and it gets cold, but it's a warm cold. It's not one of those freezing colds. Truthfully, I probably won't even eat this. Just lie on here. Common mistake most people make. Now, this is going by car. This ain't a bug out scenario. This is a car and a basic camping trip. So, let's get serious. The table is for you to cook on. You're probably thinking, what's he gonna cook with? Look, I'm gonna be honest, I just gonna get stuff, okay? But there are scenarios where you do need to start a little fire and so forth. For that, I recommend taking a look at some of the other survival videos, because honestly, right now I'm up north, and I wouldn't recommend lighting a fire in the November seasons. Not for $1 million. Now, probably saw me at the start of the day. Vernos flask. Very important to have one of these. 2 of them to be exact. Now you're probably thinking, oh, but they're so expensive. Last time I was camping, I had 2 of these. In one case, I cooked a meal up, put it straight in the flask. The next one, I cooked it up, put it straight in the flask. Alright? I ate one, left the other one for the morning, and in the morning I had a nice cup of hot soup. Now, you can imagine I just boiled water and added a cup of soup to one. And the other one is, well, it was actually a can of Camo soup, or you can get a series of interesting meals in cans from the store, usually Coles or Woolies. But the odd chance that you want to lighten that up a bit more, come up a bit more bulky, but that does lighten the load. You could also get pastas, like instant pastas. You can get them from Woolworths, and they're just add hot water. But I've actually added to that. You add hot water, and you can add some freeze-dried vegetables. You're probably thinking, what's freeze-dried vegetables? Freeze-dried vegetables are vegetables that are dry. In fact, if you go into the chip aisle or the health food aisles in many of the stores right now, even Spud Shed's got it right now. Oh, and don't be garbage, people. I'm not sure if this is mine, but I'm still picking it up. Alright, back to the point. You got one of these freeze-dried vegetables. They're chip-flavored things. They're vegetables. They're freeze-dried. What you do, amount of them in there, pour the pasta in there, and here's the other trick. You want to have a nice and creamy and a good meal, so add a cup of soup. Now, all you have to do to this is boil the water and add it to one of these, and leave it for 2 hours, and bang, there's your meal. I'm not going to do that fancy stuff today. I'm just going to get a can and heat it up. It's quite easy. I mean, who wouldn't take the easy way? However, in the event you don't take the easy way, the freeze dry vegetables available in most supermarkets. However, I must admit, they're bulky and take up a lot of space, but this here is the equivalent of 250 grams of vegetables. Weighs only 90 grams. And to reconstitute it, it's pretty much just add water. Hot water is perfect. Now hang on, didn't I say I was just going to have a can of soup? Something with chunky. Okay, this one here is the Soup Co. I'm not exactly sure where I got that one from. That or Campbell's, half decent, it'll work. Cabin stove, available everywhere. Everywhere. I mean everywhere. I mean, I'll just move the camera down so you can see it. It's available everywhere. I've had this one for a bit. There is a weakness to these. And that weakness is that they break. However, they still work. In this case, the flint doesn't work. But it still works. Match. Unfortunately, I used up my can earlier, and we've all seen these cans. They're everywhere. They're different brands, but they're the same can. This one here is empty, unfortunately, so I've got to put it in my garbage bag. Take a garbage bag with you. Now, if you're going north like I have, or going anywhere really hot, you want to store your flammable cans in an esky or some kind of protection from the sun. Don't leave it in the sun, because seriously, backfires. These are pretty easy. Put them on here, lock it in. Right? How fast is this going to be? Now you're probably thinking, oh, he's going to bring a camping pot. No, bring yourself stone coated. They're easier to clean. They're not camping capable, but they are easier to clean, and that's what you want. Easier to clean. So, as I told you before, my flint's gone on this, but it still works because I've got matches. You, like any old match, gas system's on. Don't think my gas is on right. There we go. There we go. Sometimes it takes a few matches. It's like any other. I do recommend using a cigarette lighter. As you can see, it's on. Can of soup, can of whatever. It doesn't end there, but there are other things you can cook up. I got a few pans that are all small. You get Spam. You can get canned sausages. Hell, I believe you can get vegetables and cans and everything. I think canned fruit is the camper's dream. Okay? Now, to ensure that you don't make sure your stove is on right. You're always going to have wind. Try to keep yourself out the wind. I've not done a good job of it today. Truthfully, I'm going to have to use this box to protect it. That's probably not a good move considering it's plastic, but I've got my distance from it still. So it should be right. Yep. Wind guard's very important. There you go. That's camping. Sleeping? Easy enough. Luxuries. Alright, rechargeable torches. Good. Need a solar power to charge them? Yes. Got the money for it? You can get a generator, a small batterized generator with a small inverter. I have one of those. They're luxury things. I've got a lot of luxury things with me because it's a long trip. I have a lot of food with me too. Mostly because it's a long trip. Okay? I got one water for drinking. I have one for washing. I have a second one for drinking. It's important to be ready for everything. In saying that, that is my day 2. Have fun.